And we're back once more with more of the sweet, awesome Girl by Moonlight action. Mission time, friends.
Woo! Yep, y'all are gonna do it. You're gonna commit.
We're
We
gonna
are
do it.
investigate, investigate the forces of darkness or whatever.
You're gonna seek answers in a
Seek
strange
answers
place.
in a strange place. Exactly, that's the one I meant.
Were we supposed to take a crew advance?
Yeah, when
Yes.
you said take an advance, did you mean also a crew
Please
advance?
also assign a crew advance. Yeah, y'all were at like 7 out of 8, and it's a playtest, so
Okay.
just
Yeah,
take an advance. Fuck it.
the power of the moon.
Each character may add +1 action rating to defy, forgive, or empathize. Yeah.
I'm cool with that.
I mean, that's a good choice. It's a pretty solid choice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
Oh.
And so I don't think this matters at the moment, but while you're your mundane selves, your stats are your actions are limited to 2. It's like
Yeah.
the most you can roll as like the base for
Yeah,
your
the
actions.
two die.
And then additional things on top of that are blocked by transcendence.
You gotta transcend
So
to get to
that-
the higher stat levels.
So it is going to apply though, because I'm going to go up to Defy 3, I think.
Yeah, so you'll be at Defy 2 unless you're transcended, then you'll be at Defy 3.
Cool. And the advance that I took was the Transcendence ability for Guardians.
Yep.
So
So now
my timer
you have
doesn't
both,
go.
right?
Yeah, my timer doesn't go down so long as I protect people.
Cool.
Yeah. Let me just double check. It's the wording is actions made to directly protect another do not advance your transcendence clock. And then
Yep.
you also have the other one where when you strike back against someone who has harmed one of your friends, gain potency.
And reduce the stress if it succeeds.
And
but
you're yeah.
but
Cool.
I think I'm just going to stick with the one.
Well, you'll have both. 'Cause
Oh,
you
do I
should-
have both?
You should start with one transcended move and one
Yeah.
regular move.
Oh, I didn't
So you-
know that. Cool.
So you now
I
have both.
Wow. All right.
Yeah, so you're a huge badass.
Oh, cool. I'm gonna
So-
take a transcendence move then.
I
Yeah,
transcend and
Yeah, so while
Lollipop.
you're transcended, you're a wrecking ball. Kind of. You're a protecting ball.
I am a
Protection
steel wall is what's
Yeah.
happening here.
And so, Sean, which transcendent move did you pick up?
I took time magic. You can push yourself to do one of the following: suddenly appear next to your enemy, ready to strike, or pull someone out of the flow of time, removing them from harm's way.
Guys, my
Sick.
transcendent move is the best thing in the entire world.
It's one of my top 2.
You may push
Honestly,
yourself to do one of the following: perform a superhuman feat of athletics, or deliver a monologue without anyone interrupting you. You cannot be interrupted. You monologue all you want.
Sailor Moon.
Oh man.
right? Like you gotta have it.
Then
Can
I
I
can do
have
my
that?
I can do an entrance, you know, like the whole like I am you know, the darkness kind of
I mean, the other option is that as soon as you transcend, you immediately disappear,
yeah.
and that then every time you surprise your enemies, you gain potency on any follow-up action. But so the one thing I'll contrast your feat of athletics with is that the outsider has the move where you can push yourself to perform a superhuman feat of physical force.
Yeah, so it's not
Which
it's not
yours is
physical
not
force,
like
it's athletics.
punching people through walls. It's like
It's like
Devil's
doing,
Footsteps
it's like
type
doing a
stuff.
triple backflip, yeah, like that
Yeah.
kind of stuff.
well, great. Everyone's all armed and ready.
So we head to Scorpio's
And we're going to go into this mission. And so we will roll an engagement roll, which lets us know how things are going. We elide all the tedious setup, planning, and lead in, and skip right to the action. So
Alrighty.
The crew gets 1 die for hope and modifies that starting pool based on the following factors. So, is the mission particularly heroic or noble?
No, I
No.
don't think so.
Okay. Does the mission's goal or methods reflect the darkness inside of our own character? The darkness inside of our characters. So, like, does it reflect the darkness prompts of any of the PCs, basically?
I think it does.
Yeah, actually,
Yeah.
for mine it does. Because we are going directly to the foe.
And then in the case of our Enigmas one, it's about being like sneaky and
Yeah.
extravagant
Exactly.
and all this kind of
And,
stuff.
like,
Yeah.
I'm
So-
going back there pretending to be a bad guy. You know, like.
Yeah. So -1 die. Is the mission following through on details from the crew's investigation? If so, take +1 die. I feel like this is
Yeah.
Yeah.
yes. Is the darkness well defended here or particularly strong against this?
Guaranteed
not really.
Scorpio's mansion has to be like pretty potent, right?
But it's not well
Scorpio-
defended against what you're doing.
That's
If
true.
anything, he wants you to be there because
It's true, he's
a
inviting
True.
us.
lech.
Yeah, that's fair.
Does this mission center around one of your friends? If so, take +1 die. Are your rivals or enemies working against you? Take -1.
It centers around one of our friends, Ben, my friend.
All right, he is your
Also-
friend. He's still your friend. That's true. So you get an extra die.
Also, if Tyler's around, enemies there.
Yeah, but he's not working against you because he doesn't expect
Okay.
you to be here. So I'm not going to penalize you.
All right.
And then you're at -1 because of the investigation tier. Because you're in a little bit over your head
Yeah,
in terms of
So-
like,
so 2
not
die.
knowing what you guys are getting
One
into. So
die?
you're rolling 1 die.
That's one.
You were
Yeah.
at 2 just now, and we dropped down to 1.
Okay, and I got the engagement roll here.
Hit it up.
Sure.
Come
go for
on, 6. Woo!
it. There you go. There it is. So
Ball.
against all odds, things are going well. So we start the mission in a controlled position.
I think we're fully infiltrated.
Things going according to plan. So yeah, you're like, we cut to you guys. I think like everyone here wears masks, and so like Corvus, you might not be in your full getup,
Yeah, I have the same
but
mask.
you're like
yeah.
you have your same mask on, and you're wearing like a suit or something, or like some kind of formal wear. Everyone's in formal wear of various types, and it's it's like a fairly mixed crowd in most respects, except that they are all clearly like wealthy and high society people. So you guys like have to put on your nicest clothes, and you seem a little bit shabby compared to a lot of them. But very quickly, what kind of masks are Alvar and Connor wearing?
And what kind of formal stuff? I want to know what they
Yeah, like
do.
I want to hear about the
I wanna that. I
costume
wanna
just
hear about the
because this is
costumes.
fun.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Well, it makes sense mask-wise for me to wear an eagle.
Yeah, you
Uh,
have some kind of like beaked like,
Yeah,
masquerade mask.
yeah. It's like it looks like a raptor. And then like I think with Connor going, like he wears
Oh, poor
Like he-
Connor. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
yeah, like he's wearing a I mean, kind of like just a shirt and overcoat and whatnot. But there's on the overcoat, there's like a lot of like intricate like flowers, like flowers to design on there.
It's like the most femme man costume you can
Yeah.
possibly get for yourself.
Yeah. And
So yeah, maybe like the lapel, rather than having a flower in it, just is like embroidered with flowers.
yeah, it's like a
Like
whole
the
like
lapels.
bouquet basically
Yeah.
of flowers. And like the cane that he carries is actually just really normal and utilitarian. Like it's not fancy because he's just got one.
Yeah.
But I think it's actually like Aquala's bow.
Right, the cane will
Yeah.
turn into the bow once you
Yeah, but
actually
it doesn't
hit
look
some.
like fancy or anything of the sort.
And it's just like the kind with like a pommel on the end. It's like a straight cane, not a crooked one, right?
Right. Yeah, it's got like yeah, basically.
It's not an
that.
old man's cane, it's a young man's cane.
Yes, it's young man's cane.
Yeah. And yeah, what does Alvar look like?
So Alvar always wears a kilt, like always. But this one is it's pure black, but on the bottom it has trimming around it, like a long silver band that goes all the way around. Um, he looks very much the way that he would in the law school, except for like his blazer is black, like everything is higher attire because this is something that he has to get used to in the first place with
Right, so then
what his schooling's doing.
rather than dressing like a law student, he's dressing like a lawyer now.
Yeah.
And a lawyer in the British lawyer kind of sense of like there's a formal kind of regalia around it, or like a yeah, totally like a traditional costume of it.
And
Cool.
I feel the mask that he wears, it's not like his transcendent mask, but it goes over the top of his face, and it's an intricate half metal mask essentially.
Cool, yeah, it's got like a some kind of fancy looking metal plate, like maybe like very polished or something on the front, and then like
Yeah.
a cloth band around the back.
Nice.
Cool. Yeah, and like there's, you know, the similar to like people wearing fancy hats at horse races, there's like a lot of very like way over the top big ass masks
Yeah,
that people are wearing.
I mean,
here.
Amy's is just the cloth mask she wears as Corvus, like the black sort of like, you know, Batman and Robin style like mask. And her clothes are like a black skirt and like purple dress blouse kind of thing. Like she's not super like, you know, fancy dress or anything. It's very like, she's very covered by comparison with a lot of the other women.
Yeah, and like the clothing
the
isn't as
place.
like tight or sexy. It's more like
and the mask, she has the mask inexplicably having thrown it away that
oh yeah,
other
of course.
scene.
I mean,
she
as if
has
you
it-
don't have a backup.
Yeah, as if I don't have like 4 of them, you know.
And I love the idea that like although your mask is very simple, there's something like incredibly striking about it, like the way that it's tied or like the way that it like flows in the air as you move.
It's like a
is,
little bit longer,
super
like,
dramatic.
on the like hanging parts. And it's
And
like
so-
it's like for a cloth mask, it covers like perfectly rather than being like weird dimensions. Like
Yeah, no, like you're the fucking enigma. Like it's
Yeah.
always
yeah.
very dramatic and striking, even though it's so simple, even in this context. And so I think some of the like early speeches are still going on. And Scorpio comes up to you, Corvus / Amy, and he like by the time you realize he's standing there, his arm is already like through yours.
Yeah.
And so he's got you like on his arm, and he
Yeah.
says, "Oh, hello there. Glad you can make it." And he's like smoking, even though no one else is like allowed to smoke in here.
Fancy seeing you here.
Yes, well, the real party's happening around back. This is just something for the little people. And so, if you're really interested,
The real party. Well, I definitely should take a look at the real party.
yeah, and like part of you is uncertain as to whether the
Yeah.
real party is like his bedroom or is like some weird occult thing
That's the
going
thing,
on.
right? Like I know it could be either. Like,
And so, yeah, it's like with that tension in mind that as he's walking you to this like pair of staircases, one that goes up and one that goes
I
down.
definitely
it's
try
like
and make eye
bedroom,
contact
other-
with my allies, you know, at some point, like during this, like, hey, I'm going this way, you know.
And yeah, y'all are able to like slip away and follow because this is all just like setting us up to where we're going, which is that he takes you down into the basement, where there is this like collection of different people who are less into the big opulent displays and more into like doing some weird occult shit.
They're like
And so
wearing
there's this,
robes
like-
or something.
Yeah, there's this underground like, what's the word for it? You know how like in video games and shit you'll always see these like massive astrolabes or whatever, like a big machine that is
Yeah,
showing the course of like, yeah. So there's like one of these in the basement
an orrery.
in this big domed room, and there's the like various planets, and it's got like 3 or 4 layers you can tell of like different domes that are all like moving at different rates to create this very convincing um and like deep looking night sky that you can look up into, but all in miniature. But there's something about it where like you look at this dome and it really does look like it's just looking out into space, and that there is this like eternal void of darkness
Can really see
that
the
lies
stars.
beyond
Can
it.
really see
Yeah.
the stars down here, or lack of stars. That is.
And Corvus recognizes this, but the others are maybe disturbed by it.
Sure. Yeah.
Or well, maybe Aquila knows as well. This is the sky from the future. This is the
Yeah.
like fucked up dark sky where there are like less stars or different stars, and the stars, rather than being those like bright points of yellow light, are like purples and blues. Like their colors are different as well.
Mhm.
And as Scorpio steps in, he like gestures kind of dramatically to it, and the whole like Milky Way lights up, but with this really like ominous like reds and purples instead of the like blues and yellows we're used to seeing. And so this band illuminates across the top of the dome, and he says in this like stage whisper, he's just like, "Welcome, Corvus. What do you think?" And there are like all these people down there like
do I recognize any of the
supplicating
people?
in
Do
front
I
of it and
recognize any
stuff.
of the people here, or are they like concealed, or?
I don't know. Maybe that's our first roll.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You know what? Let's make a roll.
I think just like as a bit of flavor, when the Milky Way thing goes overhead, like uh, Connor looks away and like actually just squeezes Alvar's arm like tightly for a moment.
Yeah, like is it out of like fear or
Yeah, it's
disgust?
just like no,
or-
it's like out of fear, like just something went.
This
you
is
know.
this is a vision of the dark future, like the sky of the dark future,
yeah.
which is like almost like, I don't know. It's very eldritch, you know, like the idea of like the sky of the dark future.
Oh yeah.
Um,
I mean, they're probably the dark constellation people are in service of some,
Yeah.
elder god thing. I mean, like the darkness could be an elder god.
Yeah. All right. So I think this is probably an investigate, right? To recognize people.
Yeah, if you want to like, because right, these people are wearing masks and you want to figure out who they are, it's totally investigate makes perfect sense here.
Yeah.
You're definitely in a controlled position.
Okay. Standard effect.
Unless you have good reason for it to be more than that, yeah.
I mean,
Standard.
if they are servants of the darkness who I may have met before, then they would be recognizable. You know what I mean? But if it's just like people that I might know,
These
by
are
reputation-
mostly people from now who are being corrupted.
Okay. All right. So no, I think standard is. I got no dice, so let's just roll it and find out. Fail.
Okay, so
I don't think I get what I want.
well, you can still ask me questions. You just might not like the answers.
Okay, cool.
And I'll
I
give
love it.
you.
How many questions do I get?
Actually, here's the thing. There's another way I can play this. So like you need to get a better look at these people if you want to figure out what they are. So like you can press on trying to make this happen, but you're gonna have to do it from a risky position. That's what I'm gonna say is up. So it's like
I don't think
you see these people, but they're not facing you.
Yeah, I don't think
Um,
I would press it necessarily. I'm still
Yeah,
like
so you're
with
like-
I'm still like with Scorpio, and I don't want to break that sort of flow
Yeah,
yet.
it's like you need to get closer, and Scorpio is leading you to some like other area. He wants to
Yeah.
show you the like dome of the sky, and he's like taking a deep breath as if like he's out in the like fresh air.
And
it's just-
honestly, the
feels
thing
like home.
and honestly, the thing for Corvus is that I mean, it's very familiar. This is like the sky of her childhood. This is the sky of where she
This is
grew
the
up.
sky you know, right?
Like, yeah, exactly.
and so he's like monologuing about like blah 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 destiny, blah blah blah, like hastening towards
And
our
I sort
inevitable.
I sort of like squeeze his arm because we're like still arm in arm.
Yeah, because he's got your.
And say, but what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do to stop them from changing this? Scorpio. There are those who work against us.
And he like stops and like swings you around so you're both facing each other. And he says, "We don't need to stop anything. We just need to let it happen." And he like leans in for a smooch. What do you do?
Jeez.
I immediately, instead of smooching him, I turn, like I separate from him, and I like turn dramatically, and in that dramatic moment I wish to transcend.
Oh, good.
And like
yes.
do a full Corvus transformation.
So it's like as you're turning, suddenly you're wearing a cape and
Yes,
like your hood appears.
It like
and...
materializes. The transformation sequence for Corvus is like very like the cloak materializes out of shadow with like a poof of black feathers, you know, and
totally.
like if she wasn't already wearing the mask, there'd be like a small scene of her like pulling it out and like putting it on, sort of thing.
Yeah, and so like suddenly you're hooded and all like.
Yeah.
And like some people like turn. Actually, no, I think everyone's still too like weirdly
entranced, you know?
Entranced in this. And yeah, you like after you transcend too, like you start to hear this sound of like people like chanting and supplicating, and it takes on a different kind of tone to it that you maybe didn't notice it in the same way that you're noticing it now. There's something profoundly ominous about it.
But yeah, so there's this dramatic like now I can be my true self, you know, like moment, and I turn back to Scorpio, in this like one spin, you know, like I pull away and spin like around back to face him now, like fully transformed, and I start talking.
Yeah, and he's like settled back because he's like, oh, she's gonna like make a little show of it, and he's like.
Yeah, this isn't the first time he's heard.
This is like classic Corvus, right?
Yeah.
And so he's like an audience member now. He's kind of like got his elbow posted into his ribs, so he's like leaning his cigarette against himself.
But surely, Scorpio, if we were sent back here, then just letting it happen isn't enough. We have to act against them. We have to stop them. Because why would we be here at all if it were going to happen on its own? Dear Scorpio. You know, and like the monologue sort of continues in a fashion that's like I am willing to put my all into this. I am willing to sacrifice my life in the future to make sure that this grand future, and like, you know, like at the sky,
gesturing and the camera pulls back. Yeah.
By the way, this is the time where you guys need to be doing the like we sneak in and fucking do stuff. Like moment.
I love this reversal of roles where like he was monologuing and you're like, oh honey, let me show you how it's done. Here's how you monologue.
You're so cute.
And so that requires that Corvus push herself.
Yeah.
And then why don't you, using this opportunity that you have created, and you can pull the extra die from your pushing yourself into this. Why don't you give me some kind of action roll to just like keep the room.
This is embodied.
Filled
this
with
is
this.
Embodied. This is embodied. This is I am the villain I used to be. You know, like this is who I am. My darkness, my brooding, all that kind of stuff. So I think it's embodied. If embodied is still applicable to that.
I think so. Yeah, I've been meaning to kind of tweak a little bit of what embody.
Let me read it from the PDF. Just so that I know what I'm like.
Currently, embody says when you embody, you move with grace and precision. But I actually want to say
we're talking about movement then. Okay, no.
But here's the thing: is I want embody to be more than that, because it's not just about moving; it's about like, you know, the way we think of embody, right? To like represent something with using yourself, and like embody ideals. I think. Is the way I want to say it. So like,
or like something specific about your character's motivation. Like embody would be like if you're a dark and brooding character, being dark and brooding is an embodiment. Like if you're not,
it's like a performative thing as well as being, you know, like it's about doing physical action, but also about
being in the moment
and being something, right? Like portraying it using your gestures and whatnot.
Okay, so you'd call that fair?
Absolutely. Please embody. This is great, right? This is what your playbook is all about doing as well.
Okay.
Right.
So that's risky standard.
Yeah, because I feel like we are still actually, this is still controlled because the risky opportunity would have been trying to pull him away. So yeah, we're still in a controlled position.
And I'm transcended, so
you can have great effect in this moment because your like order of power is currently greater than what
how
you're
does the
contending with.
transcendence clock work? Like, because
Every time you make a roll while transcended, you fill in a pip on your transcendence clock.
How many pips do I have?
It has 6.
6? Okay.
If you were the unlikely hero, it would have 8, but you wouldn't have access to it at the start of the game.
Dice 2.
And so, yeah, you're gonna have great effect. You're getting an extra die from having pushed yourself, and we've already heard your monologue and everything. So go ahead and make the roll.
5.
You get a 5. Okay, so, yeah, I think what we're gonna say is that you do what you set out to do, right? You're creating this opportunity.
I'm creating a distraction, yeah.
Of a distraction, but I'm gonna create a clock for Scorpio's interest. And Scorpio's interest is a 4-count clock. It's gonna have 1 segment filled in. And when it fills, it's when he loses interest.
Okay.
So he can only tolerate your sexy monologuing for so long before he's gotta,
monologue himself.
Well, I
try
mean,
to
he's Scorpio.
occupy you
He's gonna
otherwise.
occupy me other ways, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just down here by your hideout stuff, and we'll call it Scorpio's interest.
Fantastic.
Scorpio's patience, I think, is the better way to put this, because he's very much interested. He's not going to lose interest.
Yeah.
He's a little too interested.
His patience is my
anyways,
blathering.
While this is happening,
Yeah, what are you two up to?
Alvar.
Well, first though, I would really like to just generally investigate this room and figure out where we can go or who we should avoid if someone is down here.
Yeah, you're always like wary for danger, right?
Yeah,
So-
I gotta protect my people.
Totally. How do you want to do that?
Essentially from a distance. Like, I imagine that we're still in the shadows. Like, we haven't come all the way down.
Yeah, you're
I imagine
at
it
the
was very, like,
threshold of this
yeah.
thing.
Very, like, balcony and, like, stairs down into this chamber where there are people, kind of
Yeah,
thing?
you've totally got it, right? When you
Yeah.
first come down the stairs, there's like a little landing with a railing, and then you go down other stairs deeper
Yeah.
into this thing, and there's
Yeah.
like all these different tiers to this massive, like, spherical room that you're in.
Like, how many people are here, like, at a glance?
At a glance, like a dozen people,
Oh, okay.
maybe more, maybe like 16.
Okay.
And you can hear the echoes of my evil monologue.
And yeah, off in the distance, there's Corvus monologuing, and her voice like carries, it fills the space, right?
Yeah.
And murmuring underneath that, there's like people supplicating at various prescribed locations inside of this massive astrolabe thing.
Fair enough. So yeah, just looking with my eyeballs. I'm not sneaking around. I'm not a sneaky guy.
Yeah, so you're just like taking it all in.
Yeah.
Cool.
Investigate.
Investigate.
So investigate is for searching for things that are hidden.
Oh,
If
okay.
you wanted to see the world as it presents itself
Perceive.
without judgment, you would roll perceive.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Fair enough.
That makes sense. So let's
I would
do
like
that.
to assist.
Great. So you can spend a stress and give Alvar an extra die.
That will.
Can
put
I
me on
also
4.
assist?
I think you're too busy monologuing.
You're already setting them up.
That doesn't matter. I can help for no stress, like, whenever I want. Twice
Oh, you want to
in
use
a
your
mission.
move to do it? Yes.
Yeah.
Then in that case, absolutely yes. That is
Oh,
appropriate,
okay.
right?
Yeah, so I
So-
basically... There's
this takes
basically
it one step further, right? Like this is beyond just your monologue as a distraction. This is now like you're leading Scorpio through the space, and like your wake is the perfect means whereby they can like get at information and stuff like that, right? Like it
and
it takes
like
us one level
maybe
deeper.
beforehand I had told Alvar and Aquila, you know, like I told Libra and Aquila, like you have to look out for these symbols and like these things, and like this means something, and this is just garbage, like that kind of
I think like Alvar is already looking for other Zodiac Knights who are there as well.
Mm-hmm.
So
other dark Zodiac Knights
besides Scorpio, because they're
servants of the Dark Star.
We're gonna find like the Scorpio of this future too. It's gonna be great. No, we're not.
Oh no.
Aw, even with 3 die, damn.
Okay, so now we're in the point where you can ask me questions and you won't like the answers.
Did you roll all 3 dice?
I rolled all 2 dice.
There's 3.
I started
okay,
0. Oh, okay. That explains that.
Never mind.
Okay, I have to quickly pull up my questions here. I have my character sheet.
Guardian questions.
Guardian. Nope, that's time traveler. Guardian. Where are you?
So Guardian,
There
I think,
you
is
go.
the first or second. Yeah.
Yep.
Second.
I'm gonna ask your favorite question here, Andrew.
Mm-hmm.
What is most dangerous here?
Oh, I love that question. God, this is a hard one. It's not Scorpio.
Okay.
Interestingly. But like, and you're like looking at these people, and I think the camera is like far away from the two of you as you're walking through this massive like astrolabe thing.
Yeah.
It's like trucking along, and then something passes in front of it, and it's this person supplicating at this little like, there's like a walkway that comes out, and there's this little like circle,
dais,
and they're
like...
in this little spot. Yeah, this dais, and they're like hunched over, muttering, and we see their bald fists, and we recognize Tyler's ring again. And although its symbol was different from Scorpio's ring, we see that the thing that he's on, this dais, has the picture of a scorpion's tail on it, like the circle that he's supplicant within.
Nice. How many other horrible questions do I get to ask?
You can ask me one more horrible question.
Okay, I'll ask another hilarious question that will definitely shoot us in the foot later. Who will my enemies try to single out?
Oh, so that one is absolutely Corvus. And so the way this information comes to you is you see that, like, as they're walking through, part of why y'all are so well set up is that people are breaking off from what they were already doing to follow Scorpio and Corvus around. And she has, like, made herself the center of attention.
And she's busy going like, we will reclaim the future as it should be.
Yeah,
we
and
will
she's
not
like,
allow them to change things, you know.
She is inspiring all of these bad dudes to like do evil shit. Nice. And so these people whose like faces are now just black, like they have no face anymore. Yeah. There's just this like empty darkness. So it's like their hair and then total blackness.
You know, like, turn and place a hand on Scorpio's shoulder. Scorpio, my dear, we can do it. We can make the future what it is, what it should be.
And they're like limp arms trailing behind them as they kind of like walk towards her, as if like, you know, moths towards a flame kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there are your answers. What is Aquila doing?
Yeah.
Oof. So these people, are they like, they just seem to be like consumed by the darkness, or I mean, what's their deal?
Yeah, totally. They're clearly part of this like organization. They're dressed in like
their shadows in a robe.
Suits, and they have these rings on that are glowing. with like dark colors, like deep greens and purples and blacks and stuff like that. There's like these pulsing black lights coming from their like fingers
Sure.
and like tracing up their arms to their faces and, you know, blanking them out. And their voices have this like echoey, discordant sound to them as they're like chanting elsewhere.
I think what I want to do is Aquila, she wants to grab one of them, like one of the ones that are trailing behind or something, or just getting ready to like get up and move.
Yeah, one of them is like just getting up from its supplications.
And she'll just like look directly at them and just she says, what you are giving up to trade for this power, this bargain, will only it will not end the way you think it ends. And then she is going to like reach up with her hand and touch their cheek.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you like reach into you end up reaching into their face.
Yeah,
because there's nothing there, right? It's just this like emptiness.
Yeah.
So it's like sticking your hand out into the vacuum of space when you touch their like face.
Yeah.
But this sounds like it's your move that you have, right? This is
Dark Omen. When you use your impossible knowledge to persuade someone, you gain potency. If the fate you warned of comes to pass, mark experience.
Great.
And I think this is confess, or no, this confess is like my inner feelings, or like
confess is your like, let's see, when you expose the inner world of your thoughts and feelings to another, you might reveal to someone that it was you who left blah blah blah. You might admit to a friend that you were once.
I think this
I would say express.
I think this might be forgive even.
Yeah, because I was thinking it was confess or forgive.
There's an argument to be made for express because you're trying to use your words to accomplish an agenda.
But forgive is like if you add it in just even a little bit of like, it's okay that you made this mistake, but I can help you.
Yeah,
like
because forgive is about like, this is clearly, I think forgive is the most obvious one here because like Elf says, someone has made a mistake and you are offering them
a way out,
an opportunity to redeem themselves, right? So
cool. So I want to roll my forgive then. And,
did you give yourself a dot of forgive when
I did.
That's excellent. It's one of my favorite skills in the game.
It's great, yeah.
Andrew, you don't need to fight the bad things.
Andrew,
you just forgive them.
Your game is so nice. It's like
it's about making people be nice to each other. It's my secret.
What are my position and effects?
So this is definitely so you get to have standard effect despite the fact that you are a mundane dealing with like supernatural shit, but because of getting potency from your skill Dark Omen, you're gonna have standard effect. This is definitely.
Is it a desperate situation?
It's desperate.
It's desperate.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is desperate. This is like, if this goes wrong, it goes so fucking wrong.
That's fine.
Because you're just being like, totally not one of you. Like, hello. I've snuck into your base. It's me, the person you're trying to wipe from existence.
I would like to push myself.
I have snuck into your base. Hello.
I would like to push myself. Are you sure you wouldn't like a dark bargain?
So here's the thing. I have two other factors we need to take into account. I am worried, so I have less effect, which I think definitely applies in the situation.
Still potency though.
I mean,
I feel like you being worried isn't an impediment to making this kind of roll, because if we think about because this is a thing born of your worry.
Yeah.
Your worry doesn't hold you back from doing this.
Okay, that's fair.
Right? Like you're right. Like we're actually playing into that. You're worried about this person.
Yeah.
Then does my physical injury come into this at all with my -1 die?
I don't think it does. If you were trying to do something where you had to be brave, I could see worry being a problem, stuff like that. But this is so like
born of worry.
This is too innocent for worry to come into it.
Then what is the dark bargain? on the table for me if you have one.
I mean, y'all are all welcome to speak up.
Every time you say dark bargain, I think you have to make a wish. Just make a wish.
God, what would be a good one
I
here?
wish I roll a 6.
Nothing actually jumps to mind here, because like I can think of like a lot of things that would go wrong if you failed, but I can't necessarily think of like
Tell you what I can do.
twist.
Tell you what I can do. I can help you
Okay.
for free. Well, not for free.
Sure.
I think I help you for free. Yeah.
Okay.
For my second die that I give out for free. And it's just a flashback to Corvus going, whatever you do, don't try and talk to them.
And certainly don't touch them. Like,
yeah, it's just a flashback to Corvus like speaking earnestly to you and being like, when we go in here, don't try and talk to them. If they're under the spell, they're under the spell. You know, and then that's it. It's just a smash cut to that, and then you going like,
I'm doing it anyways.
And
Okay.
yeah, the dark bargain I can offer you here is that you're going to take level 1 harm, the chill of the stars, which is like some weird supernatural shit that's just like eating away at you after, because you're like touching this direct
Void.
manifestation of darkness while unprotected from it, right?
Let's fucking do it. It's like
Great.
you got
Okay.
like four die on this now.
three
Yeah.
dice.
Anytime I want to make Sean accept a dark bargain, after playing with him this long, I know I'm just like, it involves harm, and he's like, done.
I'll kill myself for that.
Make it more harm. Make it level 3, Andrew. I don't
No,
give a
no,
shit.
no, no. I gotta pace myself.
Start small with some level 1 harm, and then we'll
Yeah,
go
you
away into the level 3s and
you think
4s.
my character is self-destructive. You've never played with Sean.
Yeah. So I've got forgive. I've got the 1 die from her, and then I've got the
From
1
Corvus's
die from
help, and
the
then
dark
yeah.
bargain. Yeah. So
Corvus's help. Hey.
There you go. You get a 6. You get a crit. Actually.
Wait, yeah.
oh,
crit,
I get
yeah.
a
It's 2
crit.
sixes.
It's a crit.
So my effect is great.
Yeah. So this is like above and beyond what you set out to do. Is the big thing, right? So
The
like
magical lightness of the stars converts this man back, brings him back from the darkness.
and so
Or that I don't know what gender this person is, obviously.
well, it was kind of indistinct initially because
Sure, yeah.
they didn't have a face.
Face.
That's what I'm saying. I made the assumption, which is a bad assumption to make.
Yeah, this person who you pull out of the like deepest, darkest night, right? They like flicker back into being, and like you hear them like gasp and like inhale as if they had been drowning.
I swear to God, if it's Kyle.
No,
my hand is warm on their cheek.
it's like a regular human version of Aquila.
Oh,
This is
jeez.
like past you that you've just like pulled out of this weird spell.
Oh shit!
And there's this like ringing sound as there's like a bell-like sound, I will say, as her ring that she was wearing, this like jet black ring that had these like swirling dark energy things going on, like snaps. It just like breaks in half and falls off of her finger. And she like catches herself on your coat. And,
Sure.
like, stumbles forward a little bit and just says, that voice, and like blinks and looks up at you and goes wide-eyed, seemingly also with recognition.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, she's not transcended at this point, so she still just looks like Connor in a way. Or, like, yeah.
Or
But it's
yeah,
Aquila.
soul.
It's like the transcendent you, but as
Yeah.
a mundane person.
Right. So,
So from the
So maybe
future
it's
in
just-
the past.
or she just looks like you,
Yeah.
or something.
or something. Yeah.
It's not really clear exactly. And she just says like, thank you. But who are you? And where am I? And she's like looking around.
I say,
By the way, the background is still, and we shall like,
Yeah, like echoing through it. Oh, also, as soon as this whole sequence started happening, it's playing the like spooky reveal song from Madoka. You know what I mean? That
Yeah.
one. Yeah, that song is playing.
I think I like just suddenly anime hug her like close to me, and I say, I'm a friend. You need to leave.
And she like looks around and like touches her face, and she's like, "My mask, where is it?" And she's like searching.
I put mine on her.
Yeah. Yeah, and it like, of course, it like fits perfectly.
Yeah.
And she like smiles and says, and like now she can see your face. Actually, yeah.
Oh, right, yeah, because I had the.
And she's like, "You look just like in my dreams." And then she says thank you again and runs off.
Sure.
Oh shit.
Oh, damn.
That's some long-term project shit if I've ever seen it.
Yeah.
That's definitely add a friend on your sheet, Sean, who's like mysterious future past Aquila woman,
Yes.
however you want to describe
Mysterious Aquila, yeah.
I feel like your role merits this person being like a contact on your sheet, especially because this is a information gathering
So
situation.
as she
yeah.
leaves, do I see Aquila leave?
I mean, Connor is there in front of you. Like you
Yeah,
still
you
recognize
saw
him.
this.
But
Yeah.
you saw this whole thing happen. So like this weird thing just happened where it's like this woman who looks exactly like Aquila if she were a regular human.
Yeah.
And I think Aquila me just looks at you with a look that says some shit just
like,
happened,
what the
didn't
fuck?
it?
I'm a time traveler and what the fuck? Oh, I love it. It's so mysterious.
That's amazing.
It's so many questions.
All
Yeah,
right.
what do you do?
I stand stunned. What is someone else doing? Like,
I mean, I'm busy monologuing. If I do anything else, I lose my monologue.
Yeah.
So I can't stop.
I mean, we could cut back to Corvus if nothing's jumping out for like Alvar to do, but
I mean, Alvar has just watched Aquila appear out of the void person.
I just say we need to get them out of here.
Like, all of them.
And I look around.
I've got a little crowd of like 3 or 4 of them around me at least.
And I just smile and say all of them.
I don't think Corvus is going to like it, but I could make a show.
and we cut to Corvus.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like at this point,
I think the monologue is waning. You know, like I'm running out of things to
yeah,
say.
I think I've got to like advance this Scorpio track clock another one.
And I'm assuming there's somewhere I can sit in this because I'm like, you know,
Are
backing
you
up.
like reclining in a chair now?
I like backing up dramatically towards a chair into which I can recline at the
There's
end
like
of my
this control
speech.
console with like an operator's chair that's like a swiveling, it's like it spins on a thing, and then it's also like on this arm so it can like pivot around this semicircle of controls. There's like it's like this crazy fucking overwrought
at the end of my monologue, which is kind of just this big thing that's like, and of course I will be happy to lead you every step of the way as much as I can, you know, like of course at your discretion. I say, like, you know, Scorpio,
as you like drop into the chair.
Scorpio is like, you know, the boss, and I just like flounce into the chair and kick my legs up and, you know, cross my legs sitting in the chair, and I go, so Scorpio, why don't you tell me who our lovely friends are? I see the void faces of
yeah,
you know, like,
he like looks back over his shoulder. Oh, this lot. Well, I felt lonely, and you weren't around to keep me company, as was promised by the higher ups. And so I had to make friends. And there's the pun in there of like make, as in he's fabricated them.
And what lovely friends you have, but they don't seem very talkative. It's not usually your type. Or touchable.
Yes, these ones a little bit strong and silent, early experiments. But that one over there, and he like gestures to Tyler, who's like on this dais with the like scorpion tail, who is like radiating this like black and purple energy. That one I think will be much more successful. See, the only thing better than one me is two me's. And at that point, there's this like heart-piercing scream from Tyler as like this dark energy is like lancing through him. What do you guys do?
Man,
Anime
even
lightning.
as much as I despise the man, I don't think I can watch him suffer.
I mean, you just
It's
decided
one
you had
thing
to rescue everyone.
I love that Scorpio is a positive contact for me, side note.
Yeah, he's your friend. He's being very helpful.
Yeah.
He's just giving you a tour of the place.
Yeah, meet Gemini, the two Scorpios.
I mean, Gemini, if anyone were to ever play Gemini, they, like, if you're not a fusion, I will slap you.
Yeah, you have
I'll slap you if you're not a fusion
You
playing
have to
Gemini.
be a fusion. Yeah.
So yeah, like, Alvar, this person who you know,
I
aren't exactly pals with, but he's
Does his hood
getting
like
shredded
does
by
does
dark
his,
energy.
Does his hood like fall back to show that it's him or whatever? Because like we only narratively know it's him. We can't see in character that it's him. Right?
Yeah, but Alvar knows what it's like, what it sounds like when Tyler yelps in pain.
That's fair. That's fair.
And you know, there's like the anime thing where it cuts back to you punching him so that we can know, like the audience will be made to know, and then like it is implied that you also connect those things.
Is there? I guess I have to do a roll for this, but I think I just have to go for it. I have to figure out what's directly causing this.
So are you going to like intervene or?
Yeah, I think he's going to intervene.
Cool.
Also, I think I have a mistake on my character sheet here. Let me just. Yeah, you move some stats around, actually.
Oh
Or
yeah, sorry,
Guardian.
I changed the Guardians.
Yeah, it's not
stats, so
investigate, so it's perceive.
they're now perceive 1, defy 1 instead of investigate 1, defy 1. I mean, you're welcome to keep the old stat block if you want to, or change it up if you would prefer.
No, I'll change it up. I won't do anything retroactive, but
Yeah, but we can just like
with-
adjust and move forward. That's fine.
Yeah, we'll roll perceive right now.
So Alvar wants to
Because
like
I'm-
figure out what's going on.
Like I'm
Rather than
trying to
act
figure out
immediately.
what's the source of the pain, because just jumping down and punching him in the face again probably isn't going to help, unless he
No, yeah,
uses
yeah.
it to help.
That's great. I think in this case, because it's like under duress. Okay, here's the thing.
Yeah,
Because you're not transcended,
Yes.
if you're gonna act, I'm gonna need you to make a resist roll first.
'Kay.
Because this is like a supernatural, just like how in Blades, like if you're trying to like fight a ghost or whatever, sometimes it'll,
Okay,
like, roll
so
first. In this case, it's that there is so much of this like shadow energy like blasting into him in this moment that like looking at it, you're just like struck with like awe and horror
okay,
as he's being like ripped apart by this energy.
I was originally going to do investigate then transcend, but if the situation's this desperate, I think it's transcend then perceive.
Great, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you like become this shining knight in
Yeah,
order to
so like
pierce the
out of
darkness.
the darkness, like the room just fills with light energy as he transcends.
Because notable feature of this astrolabe with like the solar system in it is that the sun at the middle is not a source of light. It's a big black thing
hole
with
or
like it's like a collapsed sun with like purple cracks in it.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
And so they're like you fill it with the like actual light of the sun.
Yeah.
Which it looks out of place here. It's like very brassy and strange, and the whole space kind of like looks more sinister. It's like everything is underlit and weird suddenly. This is like so out of place here. But also like we know that you're heroic and awesome. So boom, you transform, and now you're gonna like try to see through this madness.
Yeah.
I find it really awesome that like I can only imagine Corvus's reaction being like, "It's so pretty," you know.
I
like,
imagine. I almost imagine Corvus going, "Oh, for fuck's sake!"
Well, I mean, I knew something was gonna happen eventually, right? Like the idea was that I get you in here. You're doing work that you need to do.
Yeah.
And it's funny for Corvus because this is the astrolabe is showing the sky that she grew up under, and her time here in this world, the regular world, is like strange. It's like she's under a different sky, right? So
Yeah, it's great. I love it.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry for interrupting with that. Go.
Desperate?
In this case, no, I think no, you're absolutely right. Desperate.
Yeah.
We'll give you standard effect here.
Okay.
Because you're on even footing with this crazy supernatural awfulness that's happening.
Yeah.
But it's just like to get the information you need in time to act.
Yeah.
Not have anything go wrong. Desperate, totally.
Okay. And I'm going to push myself as well, because this is a stress situation.
I'd love I'd love to help you again, but I can't. I'm out of hopes.
I can help.
Okay.
And I think justifying wise. So what are you aiming to do?
Alvar is aiming to essentially protect Tyler.
Okay, so I think I think I'm able to like see a way to do that, and at this moment, like considering what I just did and what just happened, like I have a moment of clarity without having to worry about the darkness, that I'm just able to like point it out and just say like, strike here and you can or jump here or do this, and you can
get there
ground quickly. Yeah.
Sure.
I'll take a stress for that.
Okay, here we go. Yay!
So
here come consequences right in the face.
Consequences
in the face.
And keeping in mind that you can resist this, I'm just going to start a clock for Tyler's fate, and it's going to have one piece left.
Oof.
One piece left? Oh gosh.
Yeah, no, I am definitely resisting that.
Okay, so it's a 4 count with 3 filled in now, and if you resist, let's say you can pull it down to a 4 count with 1 filled in.
Okay, yeah. I think this is brash.
This whole thing that you're doing.
Yeah.
But in terms of the resistances, so the way you're acting is certainly brash, but the thing you're resisting.
Oh.
So
okay.
for Moe, it's resist despair and heartbreak. For Tsundere, it's resist violence and fear, and Kudere is to resist panic and social pressure. So I kind of feel like this is in the like panic mode. This is about like calmly assessing and acting.
Well, for the resist, I would say I'm trying to stop violence. It's the same role.
There's no real violence on yourself, right? Like,
but there's violence on Tyler.
So if this were the action of you intervening, then I would absolutely agree. But because this is the moment where you're assessing, right?
No,
this is
absolutely.
I think Kudere. I mean,
again, all the same.
Mechanically, it doesn't make a difference, but fictionally,
well, we're just trying to make
matters.
Yeah. Okay. So,
also, as a demonstration of the game's rules.
Yeah. So we're transcendent right now, or I am.
Yep.
So I gotta die for that. Then I gotta die for Moe. because I got 1 in perceive, I think. Yes. Cool. Hey, fully resisted it. Did I crit?
Cool. It's no
No.
problem. Yeah, did you crit? No.
No.
So this is Tyler's fate. So yeah, it's like rather than, this we're like shaving the seconds, right? We're having these very small slices of time for this action that we're describing.
Okay.
So go ahead. You get to ask me some questions. And I'm going to give you
Some answers.
good answers.
Woo, good answers.
Helpful answers.
Answers that aren't just secretly me foreshadowing things.
Answers that aren't me saying you're fucked. Just secretly.
What's really going on here?
Yeah, this guy Tyler is being replaced or is becoming and always was going to become Scorpio.
Oh, the next Scorpio? Yeah.
Yeah, that like that Scorpio and Tyler are the same person, and that this is just like advancing the clock like 20 years or whatever, or 10 years to make that change happen that was always going to happen.
Oh, okay.
And so yeah, like maybe he's a different like generational embodiment of Scorpio,
but he
right?
is a
From
Scorpio.
the one that
But he
Corvus
is
knows,
a
but he's
Scorpio.
a Scorpio, and in becoming Scorpio, they're then going to be the same person.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
like
I get
your
it.
transcendent self is like something that stretches across all of time. And
Yeah.
then you might have different mundane selves, but they're
we kind of have like an avatar moment going on here.
yes, yeah, exactly. So that's what's really going on. And you can ask me another question as well.
Cool.
That's really cool.
It is.
He just wanted a friend,
It
and who
also-
better to be a friend than himself?
It also makes me speculate so hard on like if somebody else touched one of the people who was like trapped in the darkness and had the same effect, would they be a clone of that person? And is it just like failed attempts at cloning himself? Like that's
Scorpio's
the shit
been
that
up to
like
some stuff
that's
down
the
here,
shit that that like
So, what should I look out for?
Uh,
In
whew.
uh
And this is all around the idea of like how to save Tyler.
how to stop what's happening to Tyler.
The thing you should look out for is how Tyler feels about all of it. Because what you don't know right now is whether or not this is something that is being forced upon him or something that he wants to do willingly.
Yep.
And so, like, this isn't to say that, like, yeah, just let him turn into the thing, but, like, the conversation that follows might go weird because this might be something that he wants.
Yeah.
Even if that's a bad idea for him, right? Like,
Yeah. Cool. I have actions in mind, but I don't think it's my turn anymore.
well, I think we need to take a break.
Yes.
So Tyler's fate hangs in the balance, and we will come back.
yes, don't go
Soon.
anywhere. We will return with our last segment of time of the Girl by Moonlight playtest.
Girl by
which is
Moonlight,
just
Stargazers.
Stargazers.
We have-
yeah,
we
I
have a
guess we have a
series name.
subtitle. Yeah. Oh man. Oh, crap. Shit. Yeah. Cool.
Other words.
Anyway, we'll be back in a couple minutes. Don't go anywhere. We'll find out what happens to Tyler right after this.